Alright, welcome to the Sales Rabbit portion of the video training series. I'm going to be jumping back and forth between myself and my iPad to show you how to use this. So, to start, we're going to cover the difference between the Sales Rabbit app and the Sales Rabbit web browser. When it comes to Sales Rabbit, you'll be using the Sales Rabbit application, so you'll need to download that from the iTunes or Google Play stores. Your login information will still be the same that you set up from the email invitation. Once the application is downloaded, you'll see it on your tablet or your iPhone. You'll come down here to the lower left-hand corner, maybe somewhere else, but the logo looks just like this in the lower left-hand corner, and it says Sales Rabbit. We're going to open it up, and then we're just going to go over a brief overview of the home page. This is the home page, covers just some basic activity. You can explore that. You can also put appointments in here and sync it with your primary calendar. Go up here to settings, and you can do a couple different things. Sync to your default calendar, all those different settings. You can do that. Very little to do there. You have messages. We don't currently use messages at the time of this filming, but we may use it in the future, so be sure to learn that if we are using it. Then right here you're going to have the Sales Hub. The Sales Hub is going to be the map portion of Sales Rabbit. This is where all the magic happens. So each of these, you have lead actions. So once you assign an area to yourself, you'll have lead actions. You will only be performing an action on a lead or a home if it has damage, because you're not going to knock the door of a home that doesn't have damage. So it either has damage or some form of service that we can provide, whether it's an old roof from a referral, anything like that. You're only putting a lead action on things that you know can provide business. So over time, you'll be able to add a ton of different lead actions. So you can see over the last couple years, we have quite a bit of leads here to work with. So that is a lead action overview right there. We'll dive a little bit deeper into this as well. But let's talk about assigning an area. So let's say that I want to assign this area. So a couple ways to do that. In the upper left-hand corner, you have a hand with a finger and a line with it. It's right there. I'm turning it on and off in the upper left-hand corner. So once it's black, you can just draw an area with your finger that you want to select, and it'll give you that. Over here, you'll be given an option here. You can route through the area. You can just select the area, assign ownership, statuses, and things like that. We're mostly just for this video going to do assign an area. You'll only be able to see yourself, but this on the left hand side is all of the offices. You will have your own office in Sales Rabbit. So we'll assign it to me, Ryan Temple, and then now it's assigned to the Ryan Temple office, but not me as a representative. So I'll click on that area again, and then what I'm going to do is go to edit in the upper left hand corner and select myself, assign, and save. And now you'll have the data grid AI populate. So you can zoom in, and you can see all the different populations, and then this is where you'll be able to perform lead actions. But let's say that's if you want to draw a specific area. But let's say that you want to use the predetermined grid inside of the mapping function in Sales Rabbit. So we'll select this upper right hand corner. There's a diamond that's thinking right now. We're going to select that. And what it is going to do is bring up the auto-populated areas. So we can select this area, select that same line up there. So select the area up in the upper right hand corner here. You're going to see that circle with the lines for area again. You're going to select that, assign the office to myself as the office. Then I'm going to assign that area to myself. And now I have that area as well. And it will auto-populate the basic information as well. So there's two ways to do that. So let's say that I want to enter a lead. I'm driving past a home and I want to enter a door. Before you do that, what you should do is plan out your route in a neighborhood. So we'll go over one neighborhood here so you can see this area, which is not assigned, this area right here. And what we're going to do is just look at what you should be doing when you go through. You're going to have all these streets, and the first time you go through an area, your goal is to obviously try to sign a roof, but your second primary goal is to knock every single door in that predetermined area that you have. If you don't have a lot of time, then select a smaller area. If you have a lot of time, you can select a larger area. in this, if I were to start in this neighborhood, I would drive every single street before I left to do something else, because I want to get a map of all the damage in that area. So if I look at this segment, I can tell you that in this area, these are the leads that have damage in this little square. Because I've been here, you'll see there's notes, wood shake, right? You'll see another note here, some details there. We'll talk about note taking here shortly, but now I know I don't need to drive these other streets because I've already driven that entire square. Now I just can go follow up and say, okay, I want to go knock that door and follow up on the damage, which following up is very crucial. So let's say that I'm going to drive through these streets. I would make sure, since this is a predominantly east to west neighborhood, I'm going to drive east to west. And how you route that out will be different for each person. But let's say that you have routed it out and you're driving through and you see a home that's damaged. So we'll use this neighborhood as an example. Let's say you're driving down the street and you want to select a home. You'll see it will pull up the generic information. This is publicly available information in SalesRabbit. So these are your lead actions. LC stands for left card. Pitch stands for that you pitched that homeowner. Inspection stands for that you performed an inspection, you got on the roof. Appointment is an appointment that you make to return back, and contract signed is a contract that you've signed. If someone is home and you pitch them and they let you on the roof to inspect it, you should for sure either schedule an appointment or do a contract signed. Because if someone lets you on their roof, they're going to be trusting you with the home as well, unless you screw it up when you're coming off the roof. You'll have these lead actions: left card, pitch, inspected, appointment, contract signed, and renter. You want to ignore everything to the right of this right now because these are more advanced lead options. We're not going to cover those in this training. This is just to get you started. So let's say that we left a card here. Then you can add some notes. So I use voice to text on here. If you have a device that allows voice to text, it'll make a lot faster in getting these notes put in, and speed is the new big. We're all about speed here, especially when you're in the field knocking doors. Friday, August 11th, 2023, 1:46 p.m. No one was home, left a card on the door, period. Older asphalt shingle roof with some damage near the ridge, period. No cars in the driveway, period. So there's an example of leaving a note. Enough information for me to understand the time of day that I was there, the date that I was last there, whether or not I spoke to someone, that I left a card on the door, the type of roof that it is. But let's say that you want to go one step further and take some really good notes in here. Let's say that you want to add a photo as well to jog your memory. So let's do that. Let's say that we want to go through and add a photo. You're going to go over here on the upper bar. You're going to see on the right hand corner that little pencil. You're going to click on that. And then you're going to go to, these are your lead actions. You have your notes. And then you can come in here and add a file, add a new file, and you can take a photo with your device. That will auto upload into there. I usually do this when someone's not home and I really want to follow up on the roof. I'll put a photo, because if a lead has a photo, then I know that it's a really good roof that I want to come back to. So that's how you perform a lead action. Adding notes, you'll want to do each of those items. The power of this, like I said, is for you to be able to build a map of the valley that has all these lead actions that have damage. Okay, so now there are no areas assigned to me. If I zoom out, all I see is lead actions. So if I zoom out, you can see I have 1,207 leads that can be followed up on within SalesRabbit. That's because over the years I've used SalesRabbit, and this is about 2 years we've been using SalesRabbit that have lead actions assigned to them. It's very powerful because now if I'm anywhere in the valley, I can see that there are notes left on each of these, and I can see that there has damage. You wouldn't leave a card on a home that does not have a damaged roof. So you know that each of these has potential for business for you. And so over time, you'll have a map. So in the beginning, you're going to be knocking and spending a lot of time learning the area and finding damage. Once you find that damage, be sure you knock the door and document your action your lead action and sales rabbit. That way, over time, you'll have a map for following up. And we'll talk about days of the week to do that, but here's a little sneak preview. When it's Monday through Friday, not as many people are going to be home, especially in the middle of the day. So I'll knock, if it's a Monday through Friday, I will knock neighborhoods that are new, and I won't follow up because I will follow up on the weekend. On the weekend, I'm going to go back to those leads that I couldn't get a hold of in the middle of the week because a lot more people are home on the weekends. So that's what you want to do. Monday through Friday, knock new damage. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you want to follow up on damage you already have. So if today is a Friday. So if I was to go out knocking, I wouldn't go out and find new damage. I would go to all these leads that might be home on a Friday. Maybe somebody has a 3-day weekend. I'm going to try to get people while they're home. I'm not going to waste my time chasing damage when I already have all this damage to follow up on. So let's say, for example, that you don't, for some reason, have, there's some kind of technicality and you want to drop a pin specifically for an address. Maybe the information is not loading on Sales Rabbit. Maybe it's not listed for some reason. Up here in the upper right hand corner, there's a pin. You can click that pin icon and then you can select the action you'd like to take. Let's say you left a card and you can click on the home you want to drop it on. So you can always assign a lead to any area. You could assign a lead to the middle of this cul-de-sac if you wanted. You can drop a lead anywhere. So that's a summary of lead actions and the options that you have to do. Now, let's say that, for example, I wanted to find my way to a lead. I can do that inside of my Sales Rabbit. Let's say I'm in my Sales Rabbit and I'm like, I pitched this homeowner a little while back, right? Right, that's what the homeowner told me. Maybe I want to go back and follow up with this guy. So I can hit this arrow here on the right and it will open whichever direction system you've selected in those initial settings, and it'll give you directions from where you are to the lead you want to go to. There's a lot of other cool features inside of here that you can go through, and Sales Rabbit is a really powerful tool. There's a lot more this program can do, and I suggest that you play with it and learn how to use it really, really well. The better you learn how to use your tools, the more money you make. The more efficient you can be and the more doors you can knock, the more money you're going to make. The better you get at your job, the more money you make. That's the beauty of this industry. Get really good with Sales Rabbit, get really good in using strategy on how you use it specifically, and you'll be able to make more money. It directly rewards you. Now let's go to a couple other things. Tools. We don't really have any tools. We don't really use sales materials. We do use this leaderboard. Let's do this week. You'll see how many doors they've knocked this week, how many they've pitched, inspected, how many contracts they've signed, and then a few ratios. Up here you can select the date, you can select the windows of time. You just have to click the black area, unfortunately, beneath the date settings. Let's say we just quick date for this week. This is the data you have. Now, we will talk about this later when it comes to your key performance indicators. Those are going to be your knocked, your pitched, your on, your appointments, and your contract signed. We'll talk about those later in much more detail, as well as how to use them to plan your goals. For now, you need to spend some time, make sure you download Sales Rabbit, make sure your login is working and that you've played along with this. Rewatch the video and go through, and if you have questions, ask your sales manager for assistance. But play with this tool, get good at it. Like I said, the better you get with it, the more money you're going to make.